magnificent. And this is the loom for that. So I'm gonna map out for you where I want the placements of the roses with a thread marking, and then also what's top and what's bottom for the rose, and for all the placements of the rose, and then let's see what happens. Okay guys, let's get this party started. This is part 2 of the Rose Embroidery on a peak lapel jacket pattern, and let me get you up to date on what's going on. So nothing comes easy, right guys? And that's just the name of the business. We were on the first part just going to make a rose. Well, I didn't want to put the word simple rose because there's nothing simple about a rose. A rose is a very intricate design. It's probably the hardest flower maybe to reproduce. And I want a high-level rose on this jacket. So we actually tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and more with things that were available. And I didn't want what was available. So with a little help from a technical individual to kind of tweak the actual rose that I wanted to produce, that plus working with the embroidery guy, we were able to come up with this gorgeous, gorgeous rose. Look at that, guys. Look at that. It's stunning. It's beautiful. It's high level. There's no crazy outline. It doesn't look like the things that you would get in, your typical embroidery store. So I'm happy with the embroidery itself. I'm going to map it out now on the pattern pieces using the interior frames in order to put a thread embroidery on each piece where they need to be located. Starting with the pocket, first I put the notches for the flap over on my pockets themselves. I did a marking with my white pencil, and then I'm going to try to figure out where I want the actual flower to be. This one on the pocket, I do kind of want it to be centered, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, keeping in mind with seam allowance and also to go around the frame. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this as even or as centered as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and draw out the circle that I want. Then I'm going to do a thread marking. This is the back part of the jacket, and I wanted to have one rose up here. This was the larger one here, and then I wanted another large one here and a couple of smaller ones in different locations. And I wanted it on the top right, so I'm going to turn this one over because this is the top right, and I want to make sure I put this up as far as I can here. I want to map out where the lapel is, so I'm going to kind of pinch it backwards and press that back, and then put a thread marking for the fold where the lapel will be. That way I'll have a better idea of where to place the rose. Okay, since I cannot get a smaller one on the lapel, or maybe I can, I think I might do a medium and just move it over a tad. So let me rethink this one. It's going to be hidden with the larger one because the lapel goes further. I want it to show mostly. Let's try that. So I'm taking out this thread here on the bigger one. I pull over the lapel like this, and the seam allowance is taken in, I will see most of that rose. All the pieces are marked and also tagged as far as what the top of the garment is and the bottom of the garment is. I did everything I can on my end. Let's bring it to the embroidery guy and let's see what happens. Okay guys, I have it on a dress form, just pinned on. These are the cluster that I have for the back. Then we have that one large one underneath the lapel like I mentioned, and a smaller one juxtaposed here on the pocket. I'll have the other pocket plain so that your eye goes like this, because then the skirt that's going to go underneath will have it flowing in that direction as well. So now the next step is starting to put this garment together, taking out all of the basting that's around here, pressing it flat, making sure there's no distortion from the ring or the frame of the loom in order to make this. And then face down with a damp cloth, and let's see if that works. Okay, going with all that wet space and press around. So this is an unlined jacket. So my dilemma was, how do I cover up all of this interfacing and the back of my embroidery without having to fully line this entire jacket? So what I've decided to do is put panels in the areas that have that interfacing to just blend it in to the jacket itself in a similar cotton, so that you still have the unlined jacket and all the fun things that go on inside as far as the binding and the look of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing to keep this jacket unlined.